Hello, my name is Blair. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Sensory Awareness series. Today is day 8, which means we are going to be talking a little bit more about meltdowns, specifically about how to respond to them. I was originally going to make separate videos about helping children and helping adults, but then I realized that the same general principles kind of apply to both groups of people. The only difference is with children, you're probably going to have to do more for them in the process. They won't be able to help themselves as much as adults will. So the best way to deal with a meltdown is to stop one from happening. You can do this by proactively creating an environment that is friendly to forms of sensory expression like stimming. Repressing stims, as I've mentioned before, actually takes up a lot of our energy and it can be bad for us, because stimming really is crucial to our self-regulation. Think about it like this. What if someone told you not to smile when you were happy or cry when you were sad? SPDers have a different body language that we speak, and being prevented from speaking it prevents us from communicating, which causes stress that's honestly most of the time completely unnecessary. Another preventive strategy is to create an action plan. Now, this is going to be easier when you are talking to an older child or an adult with SPD, but even young kids can contribute to the development of said action plan. Talk to the person as much as you can about what sensory needs that they know they have. Some possible questions to ask when developing this action plan include: what are your triggers? What are your stims? Is there a signal that you would like to use to let me know when you're escalating? How should we communicate if/when you can't speak? What is most helpful for you when you're in meltdown mode? Do you prefer to be alone during a meltdown or have someone with you? What can I do for you after the meltdown is over? With adults, this process will typically be more straightforward, but a lot of SPDers, even in adult ages, have repressed their natural sensory needs and expression so much that it's really hard for them to access that space in their mind again. Also, consider the context and the relationship you have with the person when you're deciding if a question is too invasive or not. Use your own best judgment. So prevention is all well and good, but what are you supposed to do in the moment when you have no action plan and no tools to help? First, you are going to want to make sure that they're physically safe. With a child, you might actually have to pick them up and move them to another location. Depending on where you are, you could go outside, you could go inside, you could go to the car, you could go to another room. If you do this, make sure to tell them before you do it, especially if you know that the child has vestibular dysfunction and has trouble figuring out when they're being moved. Being picked up can be really scary for them, so just let them know, hey, I'm gonna pick you up now and move you to a more suitable location where you'll be more safe. If it's not possible for them to move to another place, just try to remove any breakable objects or sharp furniture or anything like that. Try to either block it with your own body or push it out of the way. Just do whatever you can to make them a little bubble where they can feel free to just kick around, scream, do whatever. If they are engaging in a stim that is self-injuring, try to redirect to another stim that serves the same purpose. Again, I know I've mentioned this in a couple videos, but there is an in-depth conversation about that happening in just a few days. Next, I'm sorry to inform you that you gotta wait it out. Like I said in part 1, people should not be coerced or punished out of meltdowns. This is the body screaming no as loud as it can. Please listen. Do not keep pouring into a cup that is already full. Keep the person from hurting themselves, model calm and positivity for them as much as possible. Sometimes it is really hard to deal with, but just try as much as you can. You can also go through some calming exercises with them, like deep breathing. You could say something like, I'm going to take some deep breaths. If you want to take some with me, it might help you calm down a little bit. If you do the exercises with them instead of just telling them to do it, they won't feel quite as singled out. I would never, ever, ever leave a child alone during a meltdown, but I might leave a teenager or an adult alone, depending on the circumstance. Adults and teenagers usually feel really awkward and embarrassed about having meltdowns, so just leaving them alone for a second to process what just happened can be really helpful. Obviously, if you feel that they are a danger to themselves, then you don't have to leave them alone. These suggestions are not universal. When in doubt, use your own best judgment and just talk to the person. Like I've said before, communication should be a two-way street as much as possible. The most important thing to remember is that the person who's having a meltdown right now is not trying to inconvenience you or make your life harder. They have a neurological disorder that causes them to feel overwhelmed more easily. Try to think about a time in your life when you felt sensory overload. Maybe you were in a crowded city, or a loud grocery store, or a really busy airport. Imagine feeling that way every single second of your life. The stress would eventually get to you, right? Now imagine that you're constantly prevented from doing anything that makes you feel even a little bit better. Unfortunately, this is what people with SPD and other neurodiverse people go through on a consistent basis. You might not be able to reach into their brain and flip that sensory processing switch back to automatic, but what you can do is make sure they have a safe, non-judgmental place to land during painful and vulnerable moments called meltdowns. So we are at the end of day 8. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something new, and I hope you'll tune back in tomorrow to learn about shutdowns. This channel is so happy. Remember to do something sensational today, and hopefully I will see you back tomorrow. Bye! Now, you might not be able to go into their brain and flip that switch back to manual. Back to manual? Ah!